Hello and welcome back. Today I'm here with a little bit of a recap from the ICA's Low Clarinet Fest, which was in Glendale, Arizona last week. And I just got back last night. My friend Stephen Dubetz and I drove 3 days each way to and from, which was quite a trek. And so I'm here with a little bit of a show and tell recap from that festival. It was an amazing time. So starting with some of the travel. So it was 3 days each way. Since there was no snow in the forecast for Wisconsin, we kind of neglected to look at everywhere else we were going to be traveling through. We just took it for granted that if there's no winter happening up here, surely there won't be winter further south. And that did bite us in the butt. We ended up driving through the blizzard in Kansas. We'd been driving through heavy snow for a couple hours before we started seeing flashing signs on the side of the road that said do not travel, and we got emergency notifications on our phones telling us to not be on the roads. But we were going probably 30 miles an hour through a lot of that for several hours, and we were seeing overturned semis and trucks and SUVs way off the road. Meanwhile, we're just putting along in my little Chevy Cruze. We were the only small car left on the road at that point. And what did us in was that we had to get off the highway to get gas. Got stuck in a snowbank trying to get into the gas station. A Dominican pastor helped us get out. So then we decided not to push our luck and we just drove straight to a hotel. Got caught in another snowbank directly in front of the hotel. And we just left it there. So it was pretty wild. We got out the next morning and the roads were pretty rough through all of Kansas. We had to drive diagonally across it, and we would probably go about 35 miles an hour through most of it. So it took a really long time. There were definitely some 14-plus hour days in the driving portion of this trip. But eventually we made it. Eventually we made it down to Glendale, where we were renting an Airbnb house with a few other friends who all went to Bowling Green State. So Low Fest was held at Glendale Community College, just outside of Phoenix. 3 out of the 4 of us staying in the house were performing at the conference. Everybody nailed their performances. My friend Lucas Giannini premiered a piece with the composer Tyler Mazzone called Misunderstood. They did a fantastic job. My friend Aaron Cameron absolutely played the pants off of Metamorphosis by Doina Rotaro. I played Pimpin' by Jacob TV. And then Lucas later on the same recital played Evan Zaporin's Smindau Merto. And everything was great. Couldn't be prouder of my friends. There was also karaoke night with Andy Hudson. He had invited me to come play with the group because they were doing several of my arrangements. That was such a blast. I had so much fun, jamming out to the arrangements, watching people sing along. It was peak fun. It was fantastic. So the wheels are already turning. I'm already thinking about new arrangements for the next conference in 2 years. And obviously I didn't just go to hear my friends. There were a ton of highlights at this conference. Just like any of these things, it's wall-to-wall music, for several days. There were a lot of highlights, and this is certainly not an exhaustive list because there was so much that I enjoyed. But getting to hear Fie Schouten play, oh my god, everything she does is so elegant and effortless. It's just amazing. Getting to hear Matthew Banks shred jazz alto clarinet. I went in an alto clarinet hater, and hearing what he can do on the instrument really changed my mind. Virtuosic soloing, high energy, lots of showmanship. I love it. I got to hear Baffle, which is a bass clarinet trio with Mike Lowenstern, Jeff Anderlee, and John Russell. Every bit as phenomenal as you might imagine, given that lineup of people. Got to hear lots and lots of Cornelius Boots pieces, including the premiere of Mother Underneath, which was a quintet for 3 basses and 2 contrabasses. I love his music. It really scratches an itch for me. It's just the right balance of hard metal grooves, but also quiet meditation and introspection. He has a very distinct personal style that I'm a huge fan of. I also really enjoyed hearing Andy Hudson sing some Bon Iver and Radiohead, backed by an ensemble of his students and former students. I'm always here for some good arrangements of pop tunes. And he was so generous. He let us all sing along to the chorus of Creep, so that made my night. There was also a high school solo competition, and it was really neat. The first place winner was my friend Lucas's student, and the second place winner was actually a former student of mine when I was back in Texas. So that was really a treat. Of course, it's always a good time trying out all the equipment in the exhibit hall. I was in the market for a new bass clarinet mouthpiece because I've been playing on a blown out B50 for a really long time. I love the B50, I like the projection, because a not insignificant part of what I do is like a lot of pop stuff. I'm frequently playing with percussion. So I really like the B50 and I wanted something similar. And so after trying out a ton of stuff, I settled on Brian Corbin's Kilauea mouthpiece with the C3 facing. Love it. I loved it so much that I bought it on Thursday and then played it in my performance on Friday. It was a good choice. I think the festival was extremely well organized, and it blows my mind the amount of work that Stephanie Gardner and the artistic team put into pulling this off, because it was a fantastic event. One thing I did notice though is there was not, and this just might have been, you can only approve proposals that get submitted. So maybe this was just lacking in the pool of applications. But there was not a lot of mixed chamber music. It was a lot of like bass on bass on bass, which is great. It's a bass clarinet conference, and I feel like priority should be given to those pieces. But there was really not very much mixed instrument chamber music. And like, I don't know, I could have used maybe a little bit more. But again, I'm just blown away at how well run this festival was. And then beyond just the conference, this was like a real chicken soup for the soul kind of trip. It was great to hang out with friends that, you know, we see each other individually sometimes, but we're spread out across the country, and so a conference like this is one of the only times we get to all come together. The weather was gorgeous. It was 68 degrees and sunny compared to like wind chill is -15 here right now. So between recitals, we were outside, sleeveless, making vitamin D, staying up way too late watching bad anime curated by my friend Lucas, drinking wine and engaging in competitive feats of strength, arguing about character alignment, and just generally devolving on a nightly basis into a level of chaos that is uniquely our own. One of the most fun trips I've had. So Stephen and I drove 3 days back. Yesterday we both had to teach, so I didn't even get home until after I was done with my lessons at the conservatory, probably like around 8 last night. A little sad the trip's over, but also excited for everything that's coming up. I've got a quartet arrangement commission. I've got the faculty recital at the Wausau Conservatory coming up in a couple weeks. It's going to be January 26th. Check their website for the exact time. I'll be playing Eve Buglerian's Testy Pony. I need to work on my live arrangements of things from my albums, because we'll be performing several of my pieces at ICA's main Clarinet Fest. This is going to be in Fort Worth in the middle of July. I have still have a little bit of writing left to do for my next solo EP project, People I Meet on Vacation. Oh, and I just found out that a chamber group that I'm part of will be doing a performance for Wisconsin Public Radio in early March. So no shortage of things to do. So if you want to keep up with what I'm doing, you can subscribe to my channel. I'm also old, so I'm on Facebook. I have a professional Facebook page, and I try to post when I can. Well, anyway, it's time for me to go catch up on about a month of emails and do some of that work that I was just telling you about. Thank you for watching, and I hope I see you again soon. Bye.